Senator Thompson?
My goal is to get in. My goal is to get into Mitt Romney's situation where I don't have to worry about taxes anymore. 5%.
Trying to get into your situation.
5%. Well, you know, you're getting to be a pretty good actor, actually. 5% of 5% of Americans pay over half the income taxes in this country. 40% of Americans pay no income taxes at all. I think we need to concentrate on preserving the tax cuts of 01 and 03. That's going to be a monumental battle that's going to be coming at the end of 2010.
Congressman?
Everyone that is presently paying tax, you can make a case that they're paying too much. The reality is, of course, you need a different system entirely. We do need to move away from this archaic, a system that taxes productivity, which is what we do, to a system that allows for a fair tax. I believe in that.
Congressman?
The most sinister of all taxes is the inflation tax, and it is the most regressive. It hits the poor and the middle class. When you destroy a currency by creating money out of thin air to pay the bills, the value of the dollar goes down and people get hit with a higher cost of living. It's the middle class that's being wiped out. It is the most evil of all taxes.
The tax that we're all paying that doesn't help anything, it doesn't go to defense, it doesn't go to roads, it doesn't go to medical care, is the $250 billion plus that we pay each year, not to the federal government, to the Treasury, but to prepare our taxes, defend our taxes, and for the massive cost of the IRS. That's all overhead, $250 billion plus dollars. What we ought to do is have a system. The fair tax system is a good one, or a flatter tax or a simpler tax, because that young couple that pays $1,450 in taxes may pay $450 to their tax preparer. That's a second tax.
A flatter tax, a simpler tax that you could file on one page as an option would be a good idea. Reducing the corporate tax, as I suggested. Reducing income tax rates across the board, which would mostly benefit the middle class. That's where the focus should be. But we've got to reduce taxes across the board, and we should give the death penalty to the death tax. It really is a very unfair tax.
Thank you. Periodically throughout the debate, we'll give each of the candidates 30 seconds to make a free statement. The candidates drew for the order. We'll hear from the first two candidates now. Senator McCain, followed by Congressman Hunter.
Thank you. I've devoted my life in uniform and in public office to keeping this nation safe. I've been involved in every major national security issue of our time. That kind of experience is what's given me judgment. The judgment to oppose a failed strategy in Iraq, a judgment to call for the strategy that's succeeding now. And I wasn't very popular because of it. I have the judgment and the experience, and I believe that I can ask every American to serve. I have one guiding principle, one ambition, and that is to keep America safe and to achieve and maintain our greatness.
Congressman Hunter?
You know, I stand for a strong national defense, enforceable borders, and bringing back high-paying manufacturing jobs to this country that we pushed offshore with bad trade deals. I've been a member of the Armed Services Committee for 26 years now, and I've chaired that committee for 4 years, and I'm one of the few guys up here who's worn the uniform of the United States, and my own son has done now 3 tours in the Middle East, coming back on Thanksgiving. I know what it takes to secure this country, and I also built that border fence in San Diego that works so well, and I wrote the law that takes it across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, and as president, I will finish that border fence in 6 months.
Thank you. I want to come back to some issues that affect the economy. You'll have 30 seconds again. The longer you go on, the shorter we'll have to go. 30 seconds to answer these questions, and we're going to start with Congressman Paul. 1 in 5 jobs in Iowa depends on exports to foreign countries, but we're also exporting a lot of high-wage manufacturing jobs. What's your plan for keeping foreign markets open while protecting good-paying American jobs?
Well, we need to adopt free trade agreements with other countries. Today, we inhibit the export of, say, farm products to countries like Cuba. It's time we change our attitude about Cuba. We should be looking to open these markets. But our markets get closed for monetary reasons because our chief export is our dollar, because we have the reserve currency of the world. People take these dollars and our jobs go overseas. You can't solve any of these problems if you don't look at the monetary system and how it contributes to these job losses in order to provide the prosperity for our people here at home.
Governor Romney, would you answer that?
Yeah, I've spent the last, as I told you, 25 years in the private sector. I understand why jobs come and why jobs go.
I've done business in over 20 countries around the world, and I understand how we can build more strength in our own economy, and that's by investing in education, investing in technology and innovation, getting ourselves off of foreign oil, and making sure that the playing field we play on around the world is level. It's not right now. We're going to have to renegotiate deals with people like those in China that manipulate their currency to put their products at an advantage over ours. But we want to make sure that we do not have a circumstance where people close down their markets to our goods, because we can compete anywhere in the world. 1 out of 3 agricultural acres is planted to go offshore. So don't put up barriers that keep us from being able to trade. America can compete anywhere in the world, and to remain a superpower, we must compete around the world.
Governor Huckabee?
Well, job migration is a result of 3 things. When you have excessive taxation that penalizes the productivity of a company, you add to that excessive regulation, which means that you've got more red tape than is possible to get through. And I would say that as president, one of my goals would be I can't part the Red Sea, but I believe I can part the red tape. And the third thing is we've got too much litigation. When a company goes into business, particularly small business, from which 80% of all American jobs come, most small business people can't fight off the potential liabilities that they come from all of the lawsuits and litigation. Take care of those 3 things, we won't see the incredible level of job migration that we see today.
Thank you. Some of our big trading partners commit human rights violations. Considering that poverty and abuse are often blamed for fostering terrorism, should we alter trade policies with those countries? Senator McCain?
Well, obviously, we should make sure that every nation respects human rights, and we should advocate that and try to enforce it. But I will open every market in the world to Iowa's agricultural products. I'm the biggest free marketer and free trader that you will ever see. And I will also eliminate subsidies on ethanol and other agricultural products. They are an impediment to competition, they're an impediment to free markets, and I believe that subsidies are a mistake, and I don't believe that anybody can stand here and say that they're fiscal conservative and yet support subsidies which distort markets and destroy our ability to compete in the world and destroy our ability to get cheaper products into the United States of America.
I'm going to move to the next question. What specific changes should be made in NAFTA? Mayor Giuliani?
I think the main thing is it should be enforced. And the reality is NAFTA has been a good thing. I was concerned about NAFTA, and I became convinced watching it that it's actually helped us. Our percentage of exports, percentage of our GDP has gone up dramatically from something like 9% to 11%. It's brought more jobs to America. America should think about free trade, global economy as something we want to embrace. This is what we've always wanted. And America is a country of entrepreneurs and dreamers and creators. And what we should be thinking about is how much can we sell to these people? As they're coming out of poverty, 20 million, 30 million people in India, China. These are new customers for the United States of America. And then we have to make sure that we have a level playing field. That's very important. But we shouldn't lose the goal of free trade. We're big dreamers here in this country. We've got plenty we can sell all over the world that'll make up for what we're buying.
Senator Thompson, what specific changes would you make to NAFTA?
Well, I think free trade and fair trade is the backbone of our economy. I think it's been just as good for us as it has Mexico. In fact, I think Mexico needs to think about that when they criticize us for trying to enforce our border. They export or send more people out of the country every year than we do in terms of illegal aliens. So it's been a good thing for both countries. It's a long, complex document. I have nothing in particular to point out. I just think we need to make a commitment to free and fair trade and enforce the agreements that we've got. The problem is too many people close their markets to us. They won't trade with us, but they want to place undue restrictions to our manufacturers and our farmers. We can't stand for that.
Congressman Tancredo.
NAFTA has been a disaster for a lot of places, and especially Mexico. Southern Mexico, it was a disaster. It destroyed the entire agricultural economy. Guess what happened? They all came north. If NAFTA had worked so well as everybody on the stage appears to think it did, why would we still have so much pressure on our southern border from people trying to escape from a country that does not provide them with the economic opportunities that that NAFTA promised? What, of course, is also ingrained in this whole discussion is the lack of sovereignty, the fact that our borders are now meaningless, the fact that Mexican trucks can come across essentially without being checked. These are the problems with NAFTA, and they have to be unwound.
Congressman Hunter, you wanted in on that?
Absolutely. When we had a $3 billion trade surplus with Mexico when